Hello, hello, hello. How are you? I hope you're doing well, in health. As usual, we'll start off with a pasuk, praying to Hashem. We'll start with the Rebbetzins, new kapitel, the first pasuk. Shiramai Eloi Saladinoi, Batzarosali Karosi, Vayaneini. Which means I have called out to Hashem in my distress, and He answered me. Today is Beis Nissan, 100 years, a great day, and this is part 2 in discussing the Rebbe Rashab. Last episode we spoke about heroes, and I want to bring out a contrast, something I once heard about the difference between Jewish heroes and secular heroes. Secular heroes are the knights in shining armor who slay the dragon and get the girl. And the Jewish heroes are the faithful shepherds that chase after the one lamb who ran away and rescue the lamb. So what's the contrast? The contrast is obvious. There's a hero who displays great physical prowess and the emphasis on the body. And then there's another sort of hero who expresses great sensitivity, great caring, great love, and cares about even one lamb. And will spend time chasing that lamb to make that lamb feel good. Now, I want to bring another example of a saying of the Rebbe Rashab, who is a spiritual giant in Hasidic thought. And he wrote the most deepest Hasidic discourses that speak about the deepest secrets of the Torah and Kabbalah. And there's a saying. He was asked a question, and we'll see how he answers that question, and how there's another story with another sage who was asked the same question and how he answered the question. And in this contrast, we will see the greatness of how Chassidus Chabad is on a whole different level. There's a story, a saying they say about the Kotzker. Somebody came to the great holy tzaddik, the Kotzker, and asked him, "Where is God?" And he answered, "Where you make room for Him, where you let Him in." It's a great saying. And the point of that saying is that you have to make room for God. You want to feel God? Do something for Him. If you do something for Him that involves sacrifice, then that's where God will be found. And then you'll begin feeling God in your life. That's one saying. But then about the Rebbe Rashab, it is printed that he was asked the same question, "Where is God?" And he answered, "Where is He not?" Oh, that's a whole different aspect, a whole different point, a whole different emphasis. The first anecdote is beautiful, the one of the Kotzker, but nevertheless the question was a question, and this is the answer. But then there's another whole approach when it comes to thought, and that is, we go deeper, we get to the core issue, and then we look at it differently, we come to a deeper perspective, and then the question is not a question to begin with. And that is the way of Chassidus Chabad. Somebody once gave an example of this. A kid came late to class. So the teacher asked the kid, "Why are you late for class?" The kid pulls out a note, and it's a note from his parents that said he went to the dentist, so therefore he's late to class. But there could be another case scenario. The teacher asked this kid, "Why were you late for class?" And the kid says, "I wasn't late." So in other words, in this case, the question falls apart. There was no question to start with. Somebody pointed out beautifully that in the first perek of Tanya, when the Alter Rebbe asks a question, he starts off V'tzorech la'avin, which means we have to understand, and it's been pointed out that right away in the first chapter of Tanya, in the Bible of Chassidus Chabad, how do we phrase the questions? V'tzorech la'avin, we have to understand, which means not v'im toimar, not v'yesh lahakshes, not that I'm coming with a big question, but we're saying v'tzorech la'avin, we have to understand, which means number one, the problem isn't me. The concept is true. The Torah is true. God's wisdom remains totally strong. The problem is, I'm blind. I can't see it. So therefore, the question's phrased with tzarech love, and we have to understand. As soon as I understand properly, then the whole thing falls off. And how do we phrase the answers in Chassidus Chabad? Ach Biur Haínyan, that's how it's written in the first chapter of Tanya. Ach Biur Haínyan yuvon. In other words, not v'yesh leimar, not v'yesh l'taretz, not that we could answer, but Ach Biur Haínyan. In other words, the explanation is, all we have to do is understand. If we understand properly, we look at the situation differently, so then there's no question to start with. Right now in the crisis that we're at, everyone is asking this question, as we've asked many times in the past, where is God? And the answer is, where is He not? It's so obvious that God is everywhere. He's behind this. He is it. We see it. I heard in the name of the Barditchever that he said a fantastic, startling statement. You could be for God, and you could be against God, but never without Him. And so too is the situation. We have to remember that the Eibishter is oben du, unten du, weiter du, do. Everything is Hashem. And this is a way that ultimately we will get closer to Him. And the Eibishter should help that all the suffering and anything which is displeasurable and all pain should disappear immediately, and we should see how this is all a revelation ultimately of Hashem's kindness, of Hashem's mercies, of Hashem's goodness. And Yehi Ratzon, the merit of the Rebbe Rashab should bring us great blessings in all areas of our lives. Now, immediately, reporting from my cocoon in Melbourne, Be'ez Hashem Yisbarich, your man in Melbourne. Good Shabbos.